Let's look at pictures and videos of houses that are up for sale. As a home inspector, viewing these pictures, let's see if I can find any defects that would come up during the inspection. Okay, so here we have a house that's listed for sale, and we're just gonna go through all the pictures and see if we can find anything that would come up during a home inspection, anything that we would mention to the customer as we go through it. So we're just gonna play all the pictures, go through it, see, and try to find as much as possible. So right off the bat, with the first image, you can see that the driveway is not level. It's pretty old. Right here, you can see there's a difference in the floor of the garage with the driveway. So because this is not level, this is potentially a tripping hazard that we would mark down. Another thing that's very common to find is the downspouts from the second floor to the main floor. You can see that this one ends here and it just discharges all the water from the top roof right onto the bottom. The neighbors have actually extended it so that it's all connected to the gutters down below. Same thing over here. So this one's missing that, and we would recommend that this also be extended just like the neighbors. And that is to prevent just extra wear and tear on the roof with all the water being discharged here, just more friction, and this section of the shingles is gonna deteriorate much faster. Here the vent for the most likely the furnace, it's pretty old, rusted. Something else here, the downspouts here go below the deck, so we can't really see the where they discharge. It's not really ideal. I mean, we can't really tell how it was done, how far away from the house it's discharging the water. Here we can see the gas meter. Kind of seems like it's not level, and the piping is kind of rusty. I mean, this only being pictures, can't really investigate any further, can't really check any of the brackets to make sure this is properly secured. Maybe it was installed that way, but that's something that kind of needs to be taken a further look at. Over here, we'll just check the flooring, make sure everything is safe. There's this carpet outside here. Kind of just take a look underneath, make sure nobody's trying to hide any holes or any damage to the deck. So that's something else that we'd, uh, we would take a further look at. Then here we have the door and the window. Just make sure the frame looks okay, that it's not rusted. Check the seals, any caulking. Make sure that everything is okay, that the windows are not cracked. And same thing with the door. Make sure it's got weather stripping and any damage. We would note that. Make sure that the door opens and closes properly and that it locks. We also check the walls, the siding. Okay, now we're inside. So again, we check all the weather stripping. We look at the walls for any warping, staining. Same thing with the floors, the railing. Make sure nothing's loose. Take a look at the roof. Here we see that there's a smoke alarm. So that's good. We will check the date of it. Make sure that it's not older than 10 years. Here in the living room, we'll check all the windows, make sure that nothing's cracked, that there's no moisture in between the windows, that it hasn't lost its seal. Checking here out the roof for any staining. We will check all the outlets. Here's a return for the furnace. We also saw the thermostat is located there. Check that all the lights are working. Here we look at all the outlets. This one being so close to the sink needs to be GFCI protected, which doesn't look like it is. So that's something that we would recommend that the future owner upgrades into and install GFCI outlets. Same thing over here. That one doesn't look to be GFCI, so that will get checked. He would make sure that everything's working with the stove, the microwave, that it's working. Here Based on this picture, it looks like it's a recirculating vent. So when you're cooking, all the smells and all the smoke just stays within the house. So there's no, looks like there's no vent going outside. This is the outlet, so everything would just go through a filter in here and then get discharged back out. So that's just something to keep in mind. We continue here to the fridge, make sure that that's also working. We'll check the kitchen sink. We'll look underneath with the tap running on each side, make sure there's no leaks. Okay, so now here we're one of the washrooms. Here you can see that this is a GFCI outlet. During the inspection, we would just check make sure that the breakers are working. We have a tool that by pressing a button, it's supposed to trip the breaker in there. So just make sure that it trips and it resets properly. We would also check that the toilet is not loose and that it's flushing properly, that there's a shut-off valve going to the tank. Same thing under here. Make sure nothing's loose. There's no leaks. We will make sure that there's a trap under here, and also that the hot and cold water are on the proper sides and that they each have a shut-off valve. Make sure that there's no leaks anywhere. Here we can see that the second floor also has a smoke alarm. That's good. All the lights are working. We check as we're going up. We will check that all the stairs are, the risers and everything are equal. Here we have a light switch at the bottom of the stairs, and in the previous picture we saw that there's another light switch at the top. That's ideal. Here's another return vent. Again, checking that there's no staining on the roof. Opening and closing all the doors, windows. On the windows again, checking the seals, checking moving aside the curtains, make sure that there's no staining or moisture behind there. Checking all the lights, make sure everything's working, all the outlets. Okay, here we have another washroom. This one, from based on the picture, it's hard to tell, but doesn't look to be GFCI. If it is, once again, we will test it. If it's not, we would recommend that be upgraded. Here in the top, we will check once again that the hot and cold water is working, that it's coming out of the top, and we will check all the for caulking around here and the spout. We'd also make sure that it has a vent. If there's no window, it needs to have a vent to get rid of all the moisture when taking a shower. Another bedroom. The bedroom, we check the ceiling, the outlets, that the doors open and close, that the windows open and close, and there's no cracks, and that they're able to lock as well for safety reasons. Okay, now it looks like we're going to the basement. They have a handrail. During the inspection, the basement would be actually one of the first places that we start. The very first place is the outside, and then we'll move down to the basement to check the the furnace, the water heater, and the electrical system. And we'll check all the outlets with an infrared camera. We'll just scan the walls to kind of give us an idea of what the foundation looks like, if there's any cold areas coming through the foundation walls. Okay, another washroom. We'll go through all the checks again. There's no outlets in this washroom. That can be an inconvenience for the homeowner. Here we're outside. We'll check the deck, the railings, make sure everything's secure, nothing's loose, that somebody leans into the railing, nobody's gonna fall. We'll take a quick look at the fence, make sure it's not kind of tipping over. Here we're in the back. Okay, check the condition of the gutters. Here it looks like there's a little bit of damage. This downspout is extended way beyond the house, so that's good. Here, this will come up during the report. So here, there's multiple things. One, the step down is way too high. Somebody could fall, a kid, elderly person, that is way too high of a step. So here we recommend to repair that, make another step here. This landing, it's hard to tell just from the picture, but we make sure that it's not loose and wobbly. Here, all these boards that are contacting the soil, that's not good because whenever any wood is contacting the soil, it leads to rot. So I would take a screwdriver and just tap on the boards, make sure that they're not rotting already. Um, and anything that's rotting needs to be replaced, and anything that's good needs to be kind of the soil needs to be taken back so that it's not contacting. Same over here. We will check that all this is not rotting along the sides as well. Okay, those are all the pictures. Depending on the pitch of the roof, we would either go on top or use a drone to kind of inspect the shingles. Based on these pictures, they seem to be okay, but can't really be sure. Can't really see the back of the house, and this is only looking at them from one angle. You get a different idea when you're looking down at them. It's sometimes the lighting can make them can make it seem like they're okay from the floor, but once you get a different view on them, it can be a whole different story. Okay, so there you go. It's first time doing this, taking a look at pictures and videos of a house that's up for sale and kind of getting an idea of what the house might need just from a quick look. So some of the things that kind of came up were the uneven driveway. Could be a tripping hazard going into the garage, the downspout coming on from the second roof to the first one that needs to be uh, adjusted and repaired just to extend the life of the roof. Other things that came up are the GFCI outlets missing in the kitchen and one of the washrooms. Another washroom didn't have any outlets, so that's something to know because it can be an inconvenience. Some other things are like the smoke alarms. We can't really tell how old they are. Safety items like that, I typically recommend that they be replaced and even more automated in each bedroom. Same thing with CO alarms. So those are safety features that it's never a bad idea to have, or you can never have too many of. You know. Then something else, other things that came up were the in the rear, the deck and the step being way too low or the distance being way too high, it could be cause a tripping hazard. And then there's no pictures of the furnace or the water heater. We don't know if there's an AC. I didn't see an AC unit. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you want me to keep doing more of these, or if you have pictures of your house and kind of want me to see what I can find just based on pictures and videos, or if there's other houses that are up for sale that you're thinking of buying, and you kind of let me know if you want me to take a look at the pictures and tell you what I find. Okay, this is Oscar. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time. Bye.